Hi, I'm Monica Fide. I'm the president and co-founder of a public relations agency called BizCom Associates, and I am a Baylor graduate, class of 1990. And I've had the pleasure of speaking to the advanced PR classes a couple of times in the past in person, but as I'm not all that at all surprised that we're being asked to do a new format in the new normal. And Dr. Burleson had asked if I could put together a little video presentation about myself and my agency and what we do and kind of my career journey. So when I graduated from Baylor, it was only the Department of Journalism, not journalism, PR, and new media the way it is today. I had a degree in journalism with a minor in history. And when I graduated, I went to New York City. My first job was in New York for a publishing company called Plaza Communications. I was there for about a year with no intention of leaving. And then I was introduced to Mike Bishop, who at that time was the vice president of PR and communications at Baylor. He started working for Baylor after I had already left the university. And he was putting together his own staff and offered me a job to come back and work for the university. So I came back to Texas and I worked in the Department of PR and Communications in Pat Neff. And I was there for about 5 years. And I always like to tell students that that was like the best laboratory to really get my feet wet in all things PR. On the publishing side in New York, it was very one-sided from the magazines that we were publishing. But at Baylor, my years there, we left the Southern Baptist Convention. We joined the Big 12. We inaugurated a new president. We had the first dance on campus. It was just a really great laboratory in all things media relations, fundraising. We celebrated the sesquicentennial for Baylor. It was just and I had a very wonderful boss who had a very young staff and empowered us to do a lot of things: press conferences, media relations, publications, press releases. We did a lot. It was a lot of fun. And in both of those jobs in New York and at Baylor, I happened to have working relationships with agencies. We worked alongside PR agencies at Baylor. When I was at Plaza Communications in New York, I was on Madison Avenue and interacted a lot with agencies. And I always loved what I saw on that side of the house. So I said, if there's going to be another move in my career, I'd love to go agency side, because corporate side PR is, you're representing one brand, one story. The news cycle can be very cyclical every year, but it seemed to me that the agency life, depending on what kinds of clients you got to work with, every day just could be so different. And so I got married and relocated to North Texas, and I got a job at an agency called Hadler White Public Relations. And they specialized in franchising PR, and one of their big clients was in Waco. At that time, it was a company called the Dwyer Group. And so that's how kind of I got my feet wet in franchise PR, which we've been doing ever since. I worked at Hadler White for another 5 years, and then my boss and I became partners, and we split off and we formed BizCom Associates. And October of last year was our 20th anniversary at BizCom, and this has just been an incredible year, 2020, for our anniversary, for the client roster that we're working with, and doing our job in very nuanced ways. We do a lot of media relations, public relations. We also have a digital division. We are, social media administrators on accounts for our clients. We have a publishing division. We do books. But we're a very small boutique agency, and we mostly work with the C-level wing for companies on our roster. And it's always been deep in the franchise space. So we still work with the company in Waco, now called Neighborly, and maybe even somebody in the advanced PR class is doing an internship there. They have a very large marketing department. And several Baylor grads that have gone on to work at Neighborly. Other clients on our roster are fitness clients. We work with 9 Round Kickboxing. They're the world's largest kickboxing franchise. We work with Gold's Gym, which is a large fitness franchise. We work with pizza chains, yogurt chains, edible arrangements. They have lots of locations across the U.S. and around the world. And a lot of what I would traditionally tell to the advanced PR class is that we spend a lot of our time helping our clients get their stories out on the franchise development side. They want to sell and communicate the opportunity to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself. So purchase a franchise, operate this franchise, join our system, and we've figured out all the bells and whistles for you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel to become your own business owner. In a pandemic, I would say our work has drastically changed. We have gone from promoting the business opportunity, which we still do, to a lot of crisis communications. Both Gold's Gym and 9 Round went to online digital fitness when the gyms closed, and kept members active that way. Our edible arrangements client went from just doing fresh fruit arrangements to whole produce boxes. Their revenues skyrocketed. Our job was to get the story out that they operate a refrigerated fleet of vehicles that can reach 75% of households. During the lockdown, it became crucial when grocery stores were running short on items that your local edible arrangements could provide those. It's just an example of a couple of the emergency crisis comms we've been doing for clients. And then we work with a lot of essential businesses like Neighborly, which is Mr. Rooter Plumbing, Mr. Electric, Glass Doctor, Rainbow. And those are businesses that, ironically, in a lockdown, people were all staying in their home, and if your dishwasher breaks, you got to get it fixed. You're using it more than you've ever used it before. Same thing with your heating and air conditioning or your plumbing. So all of those essential businesses had to find a way to pivot and offer contactless service calls in their homes. Their businesses just continue to keep plugging forward. So it's been an interesting year for us. And I will say for our small staff, we have about 12 to 13 people, and that includes a couple of contract workers. We instituted a remote work day. I guess it's about 4 years ago now, where staff could choose any day of the week and work from wherever they wanted to. They didn't have to come into our office. And ironically, that really strategically trained us how to operate remotely nonstop, because that's basically how we've been working 24/7. And we've even opened up, one of our employees moved to Chicago, and it was a seamless transition that she could still work from us from Chicago. So, and I do think a remote workforce is going to change a lot of things moving forward, not just in our industry, but elsewhere. Our clients are entertaining the idea of less space for headquarters because their staff and their teams have done seamlessly well remotely. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic. And I guess I will also say that every semester we have an intern, and I can't encourage you guys enough to do as many internships as you can to prepare you and even maybe give you an idea of what you want to do. Do you want to go agency side? Do you want to do client side work? I've been so impressed with the online portfolios that I get from college students that are going to enter the job market soon or want to apply for our internship. to see the quality of the work that you guys are doing is just amazing. So even if you're doing it remotely and not always in the classroom, again, I think that will also prepare you well for the climate that you'll see out there when you do graduate. But I invite everybody to reach out to me, and I will give my contact information. Dr. Burleson has that. If you ever have any questions, I'm more than happy to facilitate answering those questions. And I hope you guys have a great semester, a great year, and we all look forward to a life beyond COVID. So, sick 'em. Bye.